Mistakes to avoid in Phantom Forces. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video here on Roblox Thrasher. Roblox Phantom Forces is a game where you can be one of the best. Sure, over time you'll learn how to play the game, but as a beginner, you are making several mistakes that sets you back. This is why in today's video we'll take a look at the mistakes you need to avoid while playing Phantom Forces. Stay tuned! Before we start with the video, however, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell for the latest notifications and updates. This way you will never miss another video. With that said, let's jump straight into today's video. Avoid the MP7. One mistake every beginner makes while playing Phantom Forces is that they use the MP7 far too much. The MP7 is not a weapon meant for the long term. Now, there are several reasons as to why you should replace the MP7. The MP7 has a 30 to 80 damage, which is pretty low. It also has 40 to 90 stud damage range, which is awful. While the fire rate is great, the reload is quite slow. The P90 is much a better gun, while the damage is less. It can hit an enemy at a much further distance. It also has 50 rounds in magazine and the exact same reload time. It also has the same recoil and much better penetrations. As you can see, the MP7 is nothing compared to the P90. The Mag-10 and the MP5K are much better gun, and you should try one of these instead of the MP7. Suppressor. This is another mistake most players make. You shouldn't blindly buy suppressor. Instead of just buying, look at the stats. Also, there are a few instances where suppressor are useful in the game. This is because very few people use the minimap, and also the suppressor barely mute the sound of your weapon. The suppressors also have a downside, which is why you shouldn't use them. For instance, if you have the R5 suppressor on the AK-12, you are sacrificing a lot of damage. Your muzzle velocity and your damage range also take massive hits, which just prove it's not worth using. Now you can use the silent ammo or muffler in place of the suppressor if you want to silence your gun in the game. Vertical grip. One mistake many people make, and this includes everyone and not just the beginners, they are using the vertical grip on everything they use. You might not know the fact, but the vertical grip actually makes your recoil worse. The real purpose of a vertical grip is for use in hipfire, making your hipfire accuracy a lot better. It also does help with rotational recoil just a little bit. The increase in camera recoil is very significant, and it just makes the rotational recoil decrease and not really matter. It's one of the worst grip in the game. If you're interested, just use stubby or folding, but not the vertical grip. The only guns that are useful with vertical grip are shotguns. Check your settings. One more tip for you is to check your settings. Many people just play on default FOV, which makes you feel like you're playing through a telescope. Crank up your FOV and play up on something like 100 plus, not the 80, which happens to be the default. You're straight up at a disadvantage if you're not cranking up your FOV. Also, try to maximize your FPS with your settings. Turn down your graphics, get rid of dead bodies, spawning or blood or impact sparks. So dial up your settings and never play on default settings. Use the minimap. This one is definitely not a don't in this video. You should make it a habit to use your minimap, and it comes in handy. The minimap is useful since it can save your life in many situations, like in the case where you have no idea where someone is. Sound is always going to be your first defense, but if you're unsure, the minimap is your last resort. Changing reticle color. The next tip is also quite worth mentioning. Change your reticle color or the color of your dot on your visor. You might prefer a different color than the default red color. A bright color like pink or purple will contrast well against the map. Don't use colors like blue or yellow, brown, orange, as it might blend with the map and you won't be able to see where you're shooting. So, those were some don'ts and tips for you in this video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.